Have you ever noticed how loud self-doubt can be? It whispers in the quiet, it shouts in the mirror, it lingers in the silence before you step into something new. And yet, somewhere beneath that noise, there is another sound, your inner voice, the one that believes in you, even when you don't believe in yourself. Today, we're going to nurture that voice. Because the truth is, confidence is not about shouting over the world. It's about learning to listen to the quiet strength already inside you. As Bruce Lee once said, "As you think, so shall you become." Lee, the martial artist and philosopher, wasn't simply talking about physical strength. He understood that the mind is the architect of reality. If you constantly think of yourself as weak, timid, or unworthy, your actions will follow. But if you think of yourself as capable, even imperfect, but capable, your life begins to bend in that direction. Your inner voice is the sculptor, and every thought is a tool that shapes who you're becoming. Think strength, and you practice strength. Think failure, and you live in fear of it. The question is, which future are you rehearsing in your mind? And that leads us to Ralph Waldo Emerson, who said, "Self-trust is the first secret of success." Emerson wasn't saying you need to trust yourself because you'll never fail. Quite the opposite. He knew failure was inevitable. But trust is about believing that you can stand back up. Think about it. You trust the ground beneath your feet not because it's perfect, but because it holds you when you step. That's what self-belief does. It holds you steady when everything else wobbles. Without it, you'll never take the first step. With it, even a stumble becomes progress. Confidence begins not with winning, but with trusting your own weight. Winston Churchill once declared, "Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts." Churchill lived through wars, defeats, and uncertainty. Yet he reminded us that both success and failure are temporary. Your inner voice cannot rely on applause, and it cannot be silenced by mistakes. It grows through the act of continuing. Imagine a candle in the wind. It flickers, it bends. But if you shield it with your hands, it keeps burning. Your persistence is the shield for your confidence. Every time you continue, you protect that flame. Moving from resilience to action, Henry Ford once said, "Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right." Ford wasn't exaggerating. He was pointing to a truth that psychology confirms today. Belief directs behavior. If you think you can, you'll look for solutions. If you think you can't, you'll stop looking. It's like standing before a locked door. One mindset says, "There must be a key." The other says, "There's no point trying." But here's the secret. Your inner voice is the locksmith. It can either convince you the door's worth opening or tell you to walk away. Which voice will you obey? From doors to heights, let's listen to Eleanor Roosevelt. "No one can make you feel inferior without your consent." This isn't about ignoring criticism. It's about reclaiming your authority. Roosevelt was speaking from a life surrounded by doubters and public scrutiny, yet she stood firm. Your inner voice is not meant to echo the insults of others. It is meant to remind you of your worth when others forget. Think of it like a shield. You cannot stop arrows from being fired, but you can refuse to let them pierce your heart. Confidence is not given, it is guarded. Muhammad Ali, the boxing legend, gave us another lesson. "I am the greatest. I said that even before I knew I was." Ali wasn't born believing. He practiced believing. He trained his inner voice to speak greatness long before the world agreed. And eventually, the world had no choice but to listen. This isn't arrogance. It's preparation. When you declare who you're becoming, you give your actions a target to aim for. Speak it, live it, grow into it. Your words, shape the echo chamber inside you. From bold declarations, we turn to quiet conviction. Confucius once taught, "He who says he can and he who says he can't are both usually right." This mirrors Ford, but with a deeper wisdom. Confucius reminds us that confidence is not about external approval. It's about self-permission. You decide what roads are closed and what mountains are climbable. It's like holding a map in your own hands. Mark a path as impossible, and you'll never walk it. Mark it as possible, and suddenly your feet begin to move. The inner voice is the pen that draws your map. Shifting to another great thinker, Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Aurelius, a Stoic emperor, knew storms cannot be controlled, but sails can be adjusted. Your confidence does not depend on the world behaving kindly. It depends on remembering that your thoughts, your focus, your inner voice remain within your reach. Imagine a captain steering through waves. He cannot calm the ocean, but he can steady the wheel. And that steadiness is confidence in motion. From heights, let's listen to J.K. Rowling, who famously said, "Rock bottom became the solid foundation on which I rebuilt my life." This is one of the most powerful truths about self-belief. Confidence doesn't grow from a perfect life. It grows from surviving the imperfect one. Rock bottom is not the end. It's the basement where you build pillars. The inner voice in those moments is not shouting. It's whispering, "You are still here. You are not finished." And from that whisper, entire castles of confidence can be built. Finally, let's return to the wisdom of Buddha. You yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection. Confidence begins and ends here with self-compassion, because the voice you speak to yourself with will always be the loudest one you hear. If that voice is cruel, no success will heal you. If that voice is kind, no failure will break you. Love is not weakness. It is the foundation of strength. When your inner voice speaks with love, the world sounds different. So let's step back for a moment. Bruce Lee reminded us that our thoughts shape us. Emerson taught us to trust ourselves. Churchill told us to continue. Ford showed us belief is a choice. Roosevelt gave us the shield against doubt. Muhammad Ali showed us the power of bold declarations. Confucius taught us self-permission. Aurelius reminded us of control over the mind. Rowling showed us the strength in rebuilding. And Buddha anchored it all with love. 10 voices across centuries, 10 echoes guiding us to one truth. Your inner voice is the foundation of your confidence. It can sculpt your future, hold you steady, shield your heart, and rebuild your life. But only if you choose to listen. So here is the call. Listen differently. When self-doubt shouts, let your inner voice answer back. When fear freezes you, let that voice say, "One more step." When failure tempts you to stop, let it whisper, "Continue." Because confidence is not about never falling. It's about always rising with the voice inside that says, "You were made for more." Now the question is, will you believe it?